All right, Pat. Well, as we fire up this episode here, the Timberwolves are doing as we speak their season-ending sort of I don't know, press conferences, look back. If you're wondering whether they wanted to sneak this one in under the radar, they sent a press release out at 9:00 last night saying, "Hey, in about 11 hours, if you guys could be at Target Center to talk to Chris Finch and company." So, what's your
exit interview?
what's your eulogy? Yeah, what's on the gravestone for the 2022-23 Timberwolves for you?
Well, I'm actually. It was such a weird season. It's hard to say. I am amazed how often they rallied from a point when I was thinking, God, they're terrible. Nothing's working. I mean, we do have to remember, for all the bad mouthing we give them, Cat did miss 52 games. So that's. He certainly frustrates people at times, but to suggest they were a better team for those 52 games because he wasn't playing would be pretty ridiculous. So I guess I was. A lot of people are talking about blowing another lead in Denver. I'm shocked that Denver didn't beat that team by 25 when you consider that 3 of their top 6 guys aren't playing. So sometimes they just showed up and played great, and Edwards was really good in the playoffs. Now he's got some problem out there, which sounds like a phony deal to me, that he, pushed a chair out of the way and now all of a sudden he threw it at people and whatever. That sounds like an idiotic thing, but I don't know. I'm not real optimistic for the future. That's for sure, because they don't have any draft choices. Mike Conley's 36 years old. We've seen the best he's ever going to have to offer as a Timberwolf. And Rudy's not as good a player as I thought he was. That's I guess I never studied him enough, but he's not as good a player as I thought he was. I didn't realize that he could not do anything but dunk offensively, so that's I think this is. I think if you're a Timberwolves fan, you'd take 42-40 next year. I don't think they're going to be any better
if they run it back. If they run it back.
Well, my presumption is Nas is gone. Right? I don't know how they keep him, but with everybody, with Edwards having to get paid here in a year, with Jaden McDaniels having to get paid, I don't know how they can give a big contract to Nas. Now maybe they can make a trade or get out from under, but I get a kick out of people saying, "Oh, maybe they can trade Gobert." No, you can trade Cat, maybe. Not get nearly what you think you can get, but you can't trade Gobert. You're going to turn around and trade Gobert for a 2nd-round draft choice after giving up 4 number ones, 5 number ones? I don't think so. So I don't know. It's just the fact that what they did not work out should just go into the Wolves lexicon of rarely does anything work out, right? So anyway, I'm not terribly disappointed in the season. Once I saw what they had and Cat missing all those games, the other thing I like to say is I don't think Finch is a problem. I think Finch is okay. I think Finch is fine as NBA coaches go. So I don't see him as a problem. People say, he's got to go. Why? What? How many games should have he won with this team?
I actually have a hot take. I would take Chris Finch over Mike Budenholzer as an NBA head coach. Mike Budenholzer was awful in that series and last night for the Bucks. He forgot that he had a timeout at the end of regulation.
Dean
He
Evison
took Brooke Lopez off the floor and allowed Jimmy an alley-oop at the rim to tie the game.
Yeah, that was awful that they let Jimmy tie it like that. Man, 2 seconds to go. Who are you going to guard? Who are you going to guard with 2 seconds to go? Jimmy, because he's nuts all of a sudden. The other night when he got 56, he's making threes. He's raining down threes. Where'd that come from? He's not a shooter.
No, and here's the crazy thing. He puts up 41. He doesn't need 38 shots, right? He scored 41 or whatever it was. I think it was 41 points last night on 20 shots. It's just ridiculous.
the biggest thing when they got traded here and they sold it blew up. It blew up because they didn't pay him the max. He would have stayed. He didn't care that Cat didn't like him. If they'd given him the money instead of Wiggins, he would have been here. And he would have been the best teammate Cat ever had as far as forcing him to be a better player. But didn't they gave the money to Wiggins, which was a disaster, and that didn't work out. So I don't know. It's going to be fun though. I'm rooting for Tibbs, but I'll take either one in the semifinals, just so we can remind Timberwolves fans of all the opinions that they have been blown up again.
The Knicks though got extremely fortunate because they actually, I saw the parameters of the trade offer that they made to the Jazz for Mitchell, and they would have gotten rid of a bunch of guys.
Yes.
To the Jazz who helped them win. So as far as Cat goes now, I know that we sort of joked around about Cat potentially going home and going to the Knicks. The Knicks are going to be absolutely fine. They're not going to want to make a big trade now.
The only place he'd go would be the Nets. The Nets might take him because they don't, they got rid of all their star type of players. The Nets might take him, but the Knicks aren't going to take him. Brunson ate up Mitchell too. Mitchell had a terrible series against the Knicks. So anyway, Tibbs. I told you, why I like Tibbs? Because if you cut his head open, the only thing that'd come out would be basketballs
and some red meat and some red meat.
Yeah, red meat.
It's new Tibbs though. Now he's thinned down. He looks good. He's got that East Coast lifestyle going for him.
But the comb over is worse than it's ever been because there's only about 10 strands left, but he's still trying, man. He's still
trying, baby.
And you can't shave that head because that head would really look bad if it was shaved, man. He's just. How about Tim shows up next year with a big toupee? Would that
That's what I'm saying. Just go with the old movable toupee. So when he jumps up, it sort of just goes back on his head and then it comes forward.
Yeah, it's they're in pretty good shape to get to the and now if you get to the Eastern Finals, who are you going to play?
Well, probably man.
Boston or Phil. Yeah, they'll the Knicks can't beat either of those teams, and neither can Miami. But getting there will be fun for
Boston's weird
teams.
though. Boston just have weird stretches where they'll they blew a 13-point lead with maybe 5 minutes to go against Atlanta the other night. They just kind of disappear for games.
Yeah.
So I'd actually love to see it. Joel Embiid's a little bit banged up again, shocking, but I'd love to see the Sixers make a run to the finals and see what those crazy ass 76ers fans look like in a finals setting.
Yeah, well, when's the last time? Wow. It's not all the way back, is it?
It was Iverson. The Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue moment happened in the finals against the Lakers. Like 2001, I want to say.
I don't know. I got to say it's been a hell of a year for the NBA, though. I think it's been really good. And it's been more unpredictable. I keep saying it's been more unpredictable. It's not quite as unpredictable as the hockey, where what was the stat you sent me today, Judd? 13 of the last 16 games have been won by the road team or something.
Yes.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
Starting on Saturday night, it's something like 13 wins by road teams. Home ice, to your point, means nothing now.
Yeah, and the Panthers are punching back in that series right now.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Now that was classic hockey, though. I was watching that for some reason I stumbled onto overtime of the Panthers and the Bruins, and the Bruins had the puck in the Panthers. This is overtime, right? It was overtime.
Yeah, it was overtime.
They had the puck in the Panthers' end for 5 minutes. The puck was going through the crease, off the crease. Florida breaks out, comes down, scores.
Bruins goalie fell down. He tried to make a play and fell on his ass.
Yeah. They had the puck out of 5 minutes, they had the puck for 10 seconds and they scored. It was unbelievable. It's amazing. And I said, the great thing about hockey is you have the greatest team for wins in history and there's still a 25% chance going in the series they're going to get beat. So, and now it's a higher percentage than that.
I mean, Pat, the Kraken might beat the Avalanche on Friday.
Yes, the Kraken. Yeah, it's going to Seattle. Now, of course, that's probably good for Colorado. But Colorado isn't nearly as good. They're banged up. They're not as good. Don't have a Landeskog, so they're not as good. So I like our team. I like our team Friday night, though, because nobody else does. So everybody, anytime you assume somebody's going to lose in the NHL, they win. So don't, that's
this is going 7. It's going 7. A memo from the Hockey Whisperer says it's going 7.
Unless the Lakeville guy just doesn't give any goals, so that's a possibility. They have a goalie who can beat you by himself. The Wild doesn't have a goalie that can beat you by himself.
It's guys named Jake, Patrick. The Wild can't beat guys named Jake. Jake Allen, Jake Ottinger. That's the curse. The curse of the Jakes on the Wild.
Although Jake Allen was a myth. This kid, the Ottinger kid, good. I mean, he's good. Jake Allen just was out of his mind for like 3 weeks or something. But this guy's really good. So anyhow.
Hey, Pat, congratulations. 42 years sober today.
That's right. I was up thinking last night, and I looked at the date at midnight, and I said, my God, it's April 27th again. 42 years, and as I pointed out on Twitter, I was there at the, I can tell you about going through treatment. The first 2 weeks you spend, how am I going to be able to drink when I get out of this place and not get, you're saying, yeah, I'm not sure about this. And then, third, you start thinking, and then you don't know. And the last 2-3 days I was in there, this fella came in. He was from Bloomington. He was a dignified-looking businessman, and he looked like his whole family had been killed with chainsaws. I mean, he was the most depressed-looking guy I've ever seen. I went over and started talking to him at the lunch table, and he told me that he had been in 6 months earlier, got out, knew he had it all figured out, was sober when he was home for like 2 months, went to a neighborhood party, had a beer with a neighbor, and 3 months later was back in treatment. Mm-hmm. So it was basically, you can't have one.
Yeah.
42 years later, nobody more surprised than me, but I haven't had one. 42 years
amazing,
later.
Man. Yeah.
So it was the lesson of that poor guy from Bloomington. I hope he came out of it okay. He seemed like a nice fella. So.
My dad would have been 48 years sober. You guys were very, very close. Now you guys, we went over and watched the Notre Dame game at Pat's house 10 years ago, and you guys kind of told your drinking stories. But he kind of said the same thing, which is, it actually, once you commit to it, it actually becomes pretty clear. You just can't have a drink.
Because we're totally, I'm a compulsive, crazy, there's no way that I can control anything. So if you don't just cut it off at the pass, you're going to be an idiot. You're going to be back doing what you did. Because there were several times before that when I quit, I was going to stop drinking as much. And remember once I was only going to drink wine. I don't even like wine. Week later, I was drinking 2 bottles of wine a day. I said, yeah, well, then I might as well go back and drink gin. If I'm going to drink this crap I don't like. So anyway, it wasn't the only solution for me was not to have one. So anyway, I hope it keeps going here.
Yes, well, we do too.
You're in pretty good shape with that, I think, now,
the fact that Minnesota sports teams haven't, thrown you off.
That's right.
At
road
this point,
trips and our local sports.
Yeah, the road trips. That was probably the toughest. The first year I was sober, I went to the 81 World. It was the first time I covered a World Series, the 81 World Series, LA and the Yankees, which was a fantastic World Series. And the 2 towns where if you wanted to have a drink after midnight, it wasn't too hard to find one. So anyway.
Hey, real quick. So Tim Connolly, who he's speaking right now, and this is from your colleague Chris Hine, Star Tribune. Tim Connolly, when asked about the Washington job, there's all these rumors swirling that he might take this Washington job. Quote, "I'm pretty committed to the Minnesota Timberwolves right now."
Three. Yeah. Okay.
So, Judd, you just celebrated 30 years of marriage, but there's some rumblings that I'm pretty committed to Don right now.
Yeah, for the most part, I am committed.
Yeah. That's right. I'm pretty committed right now. Guess what? Get a number one draft choice and you for this club, and you can go to Washington, buddy. That's fine. Although, who are we going to bring? We're going to bring back Gupta or something. What are they going to do here? I don't know.
He's still here.
Oh, they didn't get rid of him. That's right.
He's still here.
It's I keep
right
forgetting
in.
my name. All right, you guys, give him some. Hey, who? I didn't listen to Randy yet. Who's Randy picking?
All right, so Randy has the Vikings. I can give you the full 7-rounder if you really want. So Randy has the Vikings trading back from 23 to 27, picking up an extra pick like in the mid rounds, and drafting Hendon Hooker with the 27th overall. Pick.
So that quarterback is not your quarterback of the future. I don't think so, but he could be. I'm not arguing with Randy. He knows now. By the way, his name wasn't Hendon when he was playing at Tennessee. He was calling himself Murray or something. What happened? He changed his first name.
Hendon Hooker did?
I didn't think he was Hendon when he was playing for Tennessee.
No, he's been Hendon Hooker. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know you're a big college football guru, so I wouldn't want to question your.
I thought he
got his jersey.
Oh yeah, heavens yes, he got hurt, right? He missed half the season or something. But, well, do you guys really think they're going to they're going to go with the quarterback? I mean, there's that. If they can't get Anthony Richardson, I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. So
it sounds like, just kind of piecing things together, Anthony Richardson is the one that the one that's ranked higher that they feel like they might have the best shot at. If he
second coming of Dante Culpepper, that kid.
Yeah.
Second coming of Culpepper. So
yeah, he is.
You guys have a good time watching it. I'll be checking the Score North website to see who picked who, because I don't.
Tavern, Reusse, show up.
Oh, really? How much?
11th frame, yeah.
Okay.
Park Tavern tonight, the 11th frame. We'll just be, whatever happens, we'll be talking everyone through it. Therapy if needed tonight.
So where do we think that if you start you don't draft till like 10:30, right? If you stay where you are.
It'll be late. Yeah, definitely be late.
Yeah.
Well, last year it was later than that. Last year they traded back 20 picks in freezing rain. We had an outdoor party at Surly. This will be indoors at Park Tavern. So.
All right, gents. Have a good night. Then I might stop by and say hello.
All right, sounds good. See you, Pat.
Bye.
There he is. All right, Reusse Unchained, and you can find everything he does on the Reusse Unchained podcast feed, and most of what he does on the Score North YouTube channel. See you guys.